Hello, students. I have a good question on bearing and distances. So let's start. The cyclist X and Y leave town Q at the same time. Cyclist X travels at the rate of 5 kilometers per hour on a bearing of 49 degrees, and cyclist Y travels at the rate of 9 kilometers per hour on a bearing of 319. I want you to take note of this. They are very important. Okay, so let's start. Let's go to sketching a diagram solution. Now, as we all know, they left the same town Q. So let's have this point as our town Q, and this must have the four cardinal points, that is the north, south, east, west. Okay, so this is the north. Now the truth is this: bearing, three digit bearing like this starts from the north and goes clockwise. So let me pick X. X went on a bearing of 49 degrees. Okay, 5 kilometers per hour. That's the speed. So I have 49 degrees. Let me draw my 49 to be somewhere here, a little bit more than 45, which is half of what is here, okay, which is 90. So half of it is 45. So let me pick 49, a bit more than half. Now, why I'm doing this is that for you to make your diagram very nice and to be able to solve the question well, you must draw it proportionally. Okay, so let me have this as my 45. And from the question, we are told that it's for 5 kilometers per hour. So it has moved on the speed of 5 kilometers per hour. So it must have covered some distances, but we don't know. So let me label this as the point that it got to. That is the point that X got to. Now I'll label the point X, okay? Since it is X that is moving that way, and this is my starting point, point Q. Now let's go to the second thing. The second statement says that Y traveled at the rate of 9 kilometers per hour on a bearing of 319. Okay, but it's from the same place. They started, now they've left the same town. So take note, they left the same town. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to come down 319 right from the north. So I will go, this is 90, this is 180, this is 270, 270 plus another 49 gives you 319. So let me take it up 49, a bit more than half. All right, so I have another 49, but this time around it moves 9 kilometers per hour. Let me take it very long. Okay, longer than 5 kilometers per hour. So let me have 9 kilometers per hour. Now this, of course, must have its four cardinal points. So let me look at this as my point Y. Good. Now I can now join. Okay, this is what I have. So I have drawn the diagram. Now recall here is actually 49 degrees. Then the rest of this, I can have it as, I think it should be 41. And how do I get it? Just by saying 360 minus 319, of course, is 41. That is. So this is 41. Now 41 plus 49, that is 90. So I'm going to draw this like this to show that it's a right angle. Okay, we're moving. Now, but the question says we should find the distance between cyclist X and Y. Now, like I told you before, now this will be my small q because it's facing the angle Q, and this will be small x, and this will be small y. So we are going to use the cosine formula. Now, according to this diagram, the cosine formula, we are to look for Q. So we have Q squared will now be equals to the sum of the squares of the other side, which is x squared plus y squared minus 2 into x times y Then we have cos of the angle Q, which is cos Q. All right. Now, listen, this is a general formula, okay? But if you look at it very well, cos Q is 90. Now, when you insert 90 here, that is, I have 2 into x, y, then cos 90. Now, cos 90 is 0, so every other thing here is 0. Now, why I'm showing you this is because some people want to use the cosine formula and they feel it is maybe going to be somehow since it is cos 0, but it's okay. And you can actually use Pythagoras theorem, because when you apply cos 90, you find out that it is just equals to x squared plus y squared, which is Pythagoras theorem. So either formula is okay. You can work with it, okay? Good. So now I have q squared will now be equals to, but I need to know something. You see, these are speeds. We can actually use our speeds to find our distances. Now remember, from the question, it says we should calculate, okay, after 2 hours. Good. This is what I'm looking for. After 2 hours. So come down. We are going to get our distances. Remember, for us to get the distance here, x, we know that distance is equals to speed times time. So we are going to have the speed, which is 9 kilometers per hour times 2 hours. So this is going to be 18 kilometers. So when we come to look for y, we are going to have 5 times 2, which is going to be 10 kilometers. So we are done with that. Now this is going to be 18 squared plus 10 squared. So q squared is going to be 324 plus 100. Q squared is going to be 424. So q is going to be square root of 424, which is 20.59 kilometers. Now let me check. Did they tell us to leave it in any signal? Oh, to correct to the nearest whole number. So we can now say that q is approximately 21 kilometers. So we are done with this, and our answer is very correct. So we are done with the first. The second says we should find the bearing of cyclist X from Y. Bearing of cyclist X from Y. Now, this is a very important statement or important word, from, very important, from Y. So we have to come to Y. Now, this is it, from the north of Y down to the line that joins, X and Y. Good. So this is where it is. This is the bearing. This is what we are asked to look for. So let's find it. Now, to really find this bearing, we must extend this so that we have this. All right. Now, we have a very good picture of what it is. Remember, if here is 41, then here, of course, must be 49. Okay, but we are not really concerned about this. I think let me just take it off. It's going to lengthen our work. So if here is 41, alternate angles here must be what? 41. So you see, if I can find this angle here, then it means as well as I can find my bearing. Now, to find that angle, we are going to use sine rule. But in this case, since it is a right angle triangle, we are going to use SOHCAHTOA. All right. So if you check to find that angle, I'm going to have to use my opposite and adjacent according to this diagram. So let's say this is theta. Now you could see that tan theta is equals to opposite, which is 5, then adjacent, which is 9. Okay, or we can use the distance. It's going to give you the same answer. All right, so I can use 10 over 18. So tan theta will now be equals to 10 over 18, which will now still boil down to 5 over 9, just as we said. Now, 5 divided by 9 is 0.555. Let me have 6. So theta is equals to tan inverse of 0.5556. So that theta will now be equals to 29.06. So I'm done. Since I have it, you can now see that, let's say this bearing is, is A. I can see that A plus theta plus 41 is equals to 180, angles on a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to have A plus theta plus 41 is equals to 180, and it's A that I'm looking for now. This plus 29.06 plus 41 is equals to 180. So A is 180 minus 29.06 minus 41. So A will now be equals to 109.94 degrees. Now to the nearest whole number, we say it's going to be 110 degrees. Now this is my answer. So when I come to this, the bearing of x from y, okay, I'll now conclude that the bearing of x from y is 110 degrees. Okay, so I'm done with that. Then the last thing here says find the average speed at which cyclist X gets to Y in 4 hours. Okay, you have to look for the average speed. That is the last question. That is question C. Now we said already that distance, okay, is equals to speed times time. So the average speed will now be distance over time. Now in this case, we found out that the time is 4 hours. Then the distance between X and Y, we've calculated it, which is this Q. Okay, this distance XY, which is 21 kilometers. Okay, we're going to have 21 kilometers, but I don't want to use the approximated value. Please, it's not nice to use it. So I'm going to use 20.59. So this is going to be 20.59. So my speed will be 20.59 divided by 4. So this answer will be 5.1475 hours. Kilometers is speed, kilometers per hour. Now, this value to the nearest whole number will be 5 kilometers per hour. That is the speed. Now, I want to believe you enjoyed this video. I actually took my time to explain a lot of things because I want you to understand, okay? So thank you so much, and make sure you subscribe to my video, to my channel, to watch my videos and to see things that I do. Thank you so much for being here.